A very good evening to you, and we welcome our viewers to Global TV News Prime, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has record of the ambassadors, both career and non-career. This was stated by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, through his media aide, Akalsim Abdul Kadri. On Saturday, the former President Muhammad Buhari had in July 2020 appointed 41 non-career ambassadors and 42 career ambassadors to man the nation's foreign diplomatic mission. The diplomats were deployed after they were confirmed by the Senate in accordance with Section 17121C and subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution. The statement confirming the recall of the ambassador's state sequel to the inquiries on the later recalling the Nigeria ambassador to the UK, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tugar, has clarified that all career ambassadors and non-career ambassadors have been recalled on the instruction of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Ambassadors also are representatives of the country, serve at the behest of the President, and it's his prerogative to send or recall them from any country. Also, the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has approved the immediate replacement of the NDDC's Ondo State Representative nominee, Mr. Victor Akinjo, with the new Ondo State Representative nominee, Honorable Otito Ati Kase. The President has equally approved the immediate replacement of the NDDC's Cross River State Representative nominee, Mr. Asi Oku Okang, with a new Cross River State Representative, Honorable Orok Otuk Duke. Furthermore, the immediate past Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Okbuku, is reappointed to a second term and will remain in acting capacity, pending the Senate's confirmation of his reappointment. Also, the President on Friday in Abuja declared his unwavering support for a partnership between the Federal Ministry of Health National Eye Health Program and the Peak Vision Foundation to provide more than 5 million pairs of eyeglasses to Nigerians with sight impairment. According to a statement by presidential spokesman Anjorin Galili, the President recounted how close to home his first intervention in eye health was as he made a pledge on behalf of the federal government during a courtesy visit by the founder and CEO of Big Vision Foundation and co-founder of the Vision Catalyst Fund, Professor Andrew Battles-Worth, highlighting the pressing need for improved eye health services in Nigeria. President Tinubu expressed concern about the more than 24 million Nigerians grappling with varying degrees of vision impairment. At the end of the event, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Patel, was joined by the coordinator of the National Eye Health Program, Dr. Oteri Okolo, and the Director of Public Health, Dr. Chukuma Anyeke, as he presented a national policy document on eye health to the President. And now the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, says poor governance has a direct bearing on the fate of banditry and kidnapping in the northwest geopolitical zone of the country. Shettima spoke when he hosted the Coalition of Northern States Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. Kasima has the presidential villa in Abuja. The coalition was led by its president, Dahatu Abubakar. The vice president said re-engineering and re-strategizing affairs in the north is necessary to project the region into accelerated development. Shettima said stakeholders in the entire north have to go back to the drawing board, reassess the state of affairs in the region, and come up with a robust platform for re-engineering Nigerian society. Also, the Nigeria Labour Congress will begin a two-day warning strike on September 5th, 2023. In preparation for a total shutdown, which will start in 21 days, the decision was taken at the end of its National Executive Council meeting, which was held in the early hours of Friday. A communique released by the Labour Center and jointly signed by its national president, Joe Ajaero, and Secretary Emmanuel Okbaja said it decided to take the decision following the failure of the Tinubu government to enter into dialogue and engage stakeholders within the organized labor on a effort to cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, to the poor masses. Already, the organized labor had in August staged a one-day protest which grounded activities in major cities across the country, while listing some of the other reasons why it would mobilize its members for the nationwide shutdown. The center accused Nigeria police of laying siege to the national headquarters of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, alleged exploitation of the rights of workers in Imo State, interference in trade union matters by the Abia State government, proposed demolition by the new Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, among others. And now the federal government has said that it would decentralize fire response centers by opening up more response points equipped with fire trucks to cut down emergency response time. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo made this known during a familiarization visit to the national headquarters of the Federal Fire Service (FFS) in Abuja. He said the FFS, as a key agency in safeguarding the lives and property of Nigerians, must be able to respond to emergency within the shortest possible time, because fire accidents and related emergency can wreak massive havoc within a very short time. Controller General FFS Abdul Ganiyu Jaji said the service bedeviled by attacks on firefighters by the public, a staff housing deficits, budgetary constraints, and the need for a befitting national headquarters. Jaji appealed to the minister to keep the renewed hope agenda by bringing fire service closer to the people, thereby decreasing response time, which is one of their major challenges. Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum has congratulated Vice President Kashim Shettima on his 57th birthday, describing him as a great and humble mentor whose time is very difficult to find. Zulum posted the birthday message at midnight on Friday via Facebook. According to him, Shettima is a mentor who gives his mentees real opportunities to redefine themselves. The Federal Road Safety Corps Ondo State Command said 2 people died while 5 others were injured in an accident on Friday night in the Olukotu area of Akure Ondo Road. The sector commander of FRSC in the state, Mr. Ezekiel Sohala, confirmed the incident with newsmen in Nigeria. A telephone interview on Saturday, Sohala, who explains that the accident occurred at about 5:48 p.m., said it involved 6 male adults and 1 female adult. The sector commander attributed the cause of the crash, which involved 1 commercial vehicle and a Honda Accord car, to speeding a Nissan Primera commercial vehicle marked FGB 96XA and a Honda Accord car marked MUS 834EL were involved in the above accident. Also, Niger State Governor Muhammad Umar Bago has added 200 million to 5 billion naira loan from the federal government as palliative, making it 5.2 billion naira to be distributed to 270 wards in the state, even as they warned that any official who diverts the palliative would go to jail. He said at a news conference yesterday in Mina that the amount given was on a loan was on which the state and local government would pay back 52% and the federal government 48%. He said all former and 7 top government officials would be involved in the distribution in the ward, and each ward would get 10 million naira except in Mina and Suleja, where each ward would get 20 million naira. He also said a 3-day public holiday for the distribution of palliative to all 25 local government councils in the state would commence on Wednesday. As part of effort to cushion the effect of food subsidy removal on the resident, the Sokoto State government has embarked about 4 billion naira on food items by distributed across the various local government areas. Briefing newsmen at the council chamber after the Midland State Executive Council meeting on Friday, the Commissioner for Religious Affairs, Sheikh Jabir Mahula, said the state governor Ahmed Aliyu has approved the purchase of its item to distribute. According to the commissioner, the state executive council members in the inaugural meeting have approved the purchase of 57,000 bags of 50 kg rice at a cost of 2,508 billion. The council also approved the purchase of another 26,000 bags of 100 kg millet at a cost of 1.43 billion. Jabi also said the said items also include another 44,000 bags of maize, which will be purchased by the state government in conjunction with the federal government. He explained that the governor would, however, set up a committee that would monitor the distribution of the foodstuff across the 23 local government areas of the state. Meanwhile, in order to make transport easier for people, the State Executive Council also approved the purchase of 50 18-seater Toyota Aeons buses, 2022 model, at a cost of 2.8 billion naira. You're watching the News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. We'll be back shortly after this break. Welcome back. It's still Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the News Prime from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, said Nigeria has lost over 1 trillion naira to tax waivers. He said instead of granting tax waivers to businesses, the government should create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive and pay more taxes. Taiwo told journalists that if Nigerians were paying the right taxes, the nation would have gotten extra 20 trillion naira from tax collection annually. The current administration has said it would introduce tax reforms to phase out multiple tax systems and ensure Nigeria has a fair, convenient, and equitable tax system. The minister said government has planned for economic growth, job creation, access to capable capital, particularly consumer credit, that makes good affordable to the ordinary Nigerians. He said the focus is on inclusivity, women, youth, making all have the opportunity to come to the table and contribute to the growth of the economy and society, and likewise by focusing on security, rule of law, and anti-corruption. It tends to create a fairer and safer playing field for all. And the move by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund to attract major international research grants to Nigeria's scholars has received a massive boost as the European Union has committed to provide 40,000 euros to support shortlisted research teams in the country under the Horizon Europe project. Tokbe Togun, who heads TETFund's team on the Horizon Europe program, made this known while briefing the Executive Secretary of TETFund, Sonny Echono, on ongoing effort to ensure Nigerian researchers' participation in the globally renowned research project. According to a statement released on Friday in Abuja, Togun, who briefed the TETFund's board alongside another member of the team, Ayo Ajayi, identified the inability of Nigerian researchers to organize and prepare sufficiently for the Horizon project as one of the major is fully committed to ensuring Nigerian researchers are competitive in the international arena, adding that the fund is also targeting other global research bodies to attract Ambassador Silvanich 48 hours to leave the country. The deadline was rejected by Paris, which does not recognize the government installed after a military coup in July. Faced by Port City of France, rumors are arrived that the junta is seeking to obtain liquidity by any means, not hesitating to use force. The Sunny Bank of Niamey was alleged to have been forced to give 500 million West African francs to the poachers, who then financed the demonstration on August 6 at the Senan Cochet Stadium. There are fears that if the financial difficulties persist, the junta could also be tempted to seize private bank accounts under false pretenses. Niger Republic has slipped further into socio-economic turmoil following the removal of President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26, with the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS, now demanding his immediate and unconditional reinstatement. The Indian Space Agency takes aim at another milestone Saturday with the launch of a probe to study the sun. A week after its successful unmanned landing on the moon, Adyad L1 will carry scientific instrument to observe the sun's enormous layers, blasting off at 11:50 a.m. for its 4-month journey. The United States and the European Space Agency have sent numerous probes to the center of the solar system, beginning with NASA's Piranha program in the 1960s, but if successful, the latest mission from the Indian Space Research Organization will be the first by any Asian nation to be placed in solar orbit. Tharman Shanmugaratnam, former Singapore Deputy Prime Minister, has been elected to the ceremonial post of president according to officials' report. In an election seen as a barometer of public sentiment towards the ruling party amid economic challenges, the election department on Friday declared the 66-year-old economist as the winner over two rivals candidates after securing 70.4% of votes. Shanmugaratnam, a longtime leader of the ruling party's Action Party, PAP, resigned from the government and the party ahead of the first contested presidential election in more than a decade. While the presidency, in a largely ceremonial, non-partisan post under the constitution, political lines were already drawn ahead of Friday's election to replace incumbent Halima Yacoub, who ran unopposed for 6-year term in 2017. The city-state government, run by the Prime Minister, currently Lee Hsien Loong of the PAP, a party that has ruled Singapore continuously since 1959. Minister for Sports John Aino has said in Lagos that his administration has endorsed the concession of the National Stadium in Surulere as well as other stadiums nationwide to private individuals who will help to revamp and maintain them. Aino, on his first official inspection of facility at the National Stadium Surulere, stated that the deplorable state of the stadium moved him to tears, adding that the only way to rescue the facility is through a government-private sector partnership. Aino also emphasized the need to work closely with special athletes who have won many laurels for the country at international engagement, saying that he intends to grow sport at the grassroots by introducing youth competition in different sports, with emphasis on areas like Ajegule and other densely populated communities that have abandoned talent. And that's it on Global TV's News Prime, live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are in StarTimes channel 270. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. Good evening.